Good evening, and thank you for joining us. It's October 1st, 2024. Welcome to our City Council meeting. I am going to call this meeting to order. To the citizens, neighbors, friends, and family of Oldsmar, Thursday night, September 26th at midnight, the skies looked like the storm had passed our little city. But the northwest wind was a serpent in disguise. The water started to fill our canals, the streets, and then our homes. Over 540 homes felt the blow of Hurricane Helene. This 7-foot storm surge did massive amounts of damage. Can you imagine if we had more high winds? The surge would have been higher, the damage unbearable. That is why it is so important to take your family and evacuate. Thank you to our city staff for your hard work. A special shout out to keeping our sewer systems and our fresh water plants running during the storm. To the children of Oldsmar, I ask you this. Please help your parents. Whatever it is, help as much as you can. The stress for them and all of this is unbearable. Stay focused in school, for this storm is something you will never forget for the rest of your life. Thank you for being team leaders and helping your parents get through this. To all the parents and volunteers, I can't possibly name them all. You know who you are. Thank you for helping each other getting back on our feet. Yes, we are all sad for this loss, but together we will continue to pull through. The offering of help from each of you has built lifetime friendships within our community. This is far from over for a lot of us. We must continue to stay focused and positive. We will prevail, we will survive, and we will rebuild Oldsmar. Our city manager, Felicia Donnie, would like to give you an update on what's going on within the city. Felicia?
Hi, thank you, Mayor. Before the storm, 170 city team members showed up. They gave all they had and basically worked 24/7 while facing potential catastrophic results for their homes and their own families. We secured and closed city facilities and parks, distributed 4,500 sandbags, cleared storm drains, transported special needs residents to shelters, relocated all of the city's fleet and equipment to higher ground, procured extra resources, including additional recovery vendors and fuel. When relocated to the Emergency Operations Center, city staff provided support to shelter over 57 essential workers during the storm. This included city staff, representatives from TICO, Pinellas County Sheriff's deputies, and the National Guard. Oldsmar also participated in continual county coordination meetings, provided constant updates on digital platforms to keep our residents and community members up to date. City staff worked all through the night while Oldsmar sustained a 6.82-foot storm surge. 25 people and pets were rescued from homes during the night. We couldn't get to all the 911 calls. We quickly established in the middle of the night a CCP. You guys probably don't know what that means. It means Casualty Collection Point for the evacuees, because we have to have a place to put people until we can send them to safer ground. After the storm, immediately we went to work to ensure that city facilities and utility systems were assessed for safety. We cleared streets and we're addressing our park system. The damage assessment team diligently walked every street in Oldsmar to identify damaged structures. As of right now, we have 539 total affected structures, 302 of them with a remarkable level of flooding. This is unprecedented. We quickly also created a platform. We're calling it the Oldsmar Support Services Alliance to coordinate and address the support needs of those impacted. I want to thank Oldsmar Cares, Community United Methodist Church of Oldsmar, the VFW Post 12186, Oldsmar, Life is a Donation, Operations Jack Village, Feeding Tampa Bay, World Central Kitchen, Salvation Army, and the Red Cross of Central Florida for coordinating and donating time, supplies, and services to our local community. We have daily engaged phone calls. We have communicated with residents through Alert Pinellas. Everyone in this room and everyone watching on TV, please, if you're not on Alert Pinellas, you need to be. We relentlessly have updated our city's website, social media, and we distributed door-to-door flyers to affected residents. We're going to continue to do this, and we have more flyers to deliver later this week. Let's talk about debris for a moment. I know everybody's asking that. Debris is very complicated. About 20,000 homes were damaged in Pinellas County. This doesn't include any public structures or roadways. I don't know if you all have seen pictures of our beaches. They're basically destroyed. The beaches received several feet of sand along with the storm surge. You can't return the sand back to the Gulf. All of it has to be relocated in accordance with FEMA and other federal regulations. We can't pick it up. The city's regular solid waste provider, Coastal Waste, can't remove hurricane debris because it's contaminated. They are continuing to remove household waste. We ask that everyone put any food products in the coastal containers so it can be taken very quickly. Hurricane debris also, it can't be burned. So in Pinellas County, we have a waste to energy plant. So most of our solid waste gets burned. You can't do that with hurricane debris. So we've hired an outside contractor, Southern Debris Removal, to collect and remove the large volume of debris in Oldsmar. We also had to hire a monitor, Tetra Tech. You probably didn't know that that exists because all the debris has to be inspected by a FEMA-approved monitoring company. We've asked residents to separate their debris the best that they can so that the contractor can efficiently do their job once they start. Debris will take some time, and we will let everybody know when to expect pickup as soon as we have the information. We will send everyone Alert Pinellas alerts. So thank you for your patience. And I want to thank all the city employees. They are a dedicated and trained team, and they show perseverance and courage and professionalism and empathy while leaving their families during this catastrophic event. The words Oldsmar Strong really just sums it up. We are a strong community, and you visit oldsmarstrong.com for more information. So thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to continue with our invocation and our pledge allegiance to the flag by our city attorney, Tom Trask. Please rise.
Our Heavenly Father, as the citizens of the city of Oldsmar meet together to address our local concerns and opportunities, we give thanks to you for the bounty that we enjoy in all aspects of our community life. We ask for inspiration to strive for excellence in our endeavors to serve the public. Grant us peace in our world and harmony between all people to your greater glory. This we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you, Felicia, for that wonderful update. Our next item is going to be our Oldsmar Open Forum. This is a time for citizens to be heard. Each speaker will be recognized once, and we're limited to a 5-minute comment on any subject that is not scheduled for a public hearing. The open forum will conclude at 7:30. If you filled out a green card, a speaker card, please hand it to the city clerk. Filling out a speaker card is not mandatory, and you will still be given an opportunity to speak. While speaking, please state your name and address for the record. Is there anybody, well, let's start with this. Oh, thank you. We're going to start with Russell Becker. Come on up.
Hello. Welcome to the city of Oldsmar. Russell Becker, 419 Dolphin Drive South in Oldsmar. I have a grievance. I received this letter from the city of Oldsmar. Mr. Mayor, can I show you this? Can I approach the bench?
This is only a time for you to speak. It's not a time to give anything. You can give anything to the city clerk if you'd like.
Can I give it to her?
Sure.
Let you know what the problem was? You can't even read it. Okay. I like to have it. Okay, the letter was from the water department. And I could barely read the letter that came in. And if you want to watch it, I talked to Carol Goslin. I guess she's the head of the water department. She's, I'm sorry about that. It was a misprint or whatever. That's been resolved. Inside the letter, it says $43.94 unpaid balance. former owner, Bank of America. Okay, and it's an ordinance, responsibility goes to the current owner. And the ordinance threatens a lien on me. It also threatens a 1.5% month or at such other rates as fixed by law. 2022, this property was in foreclosure, beginning of 2022. It took almost 8 or 9 months for the foreclosure to go through for Bank of America. They got a clean title and went through the system. The council went through the judge. He signed off on it. It went up on auction. Miss Pat Pastrelli bought the property. She was there until July of this year. Then I bought the property. And anyway, it says unpaid balance of $43.94. Bank of America is the one that should eat this one. It's a lousy institution. So, I went ahead and I paid the fine, so I won't get threatened with a lien. And I'm asking for some clemency here and reimbursement. I don't think it was fair. It went through the system almost 3 years, and now they find this out. And I'm the one that's holding the bag. So, I'm asking Mr. Mayor if there could be some leniency on this.
Russell, we have your card, and someone from city staff is gonna get with you, okay?
Okay, who will it be?
I'm not sure, but we will get with you. We have your card, we have your email and your phone number and your address, and someone from city council will get with you.
Okay, how long will that take?
Tomorrow?
Okay, great. Do you have my phone number and everything? Okay.
Yep, thank you very
What's
much.
the point of contact if I don't hear from you?
You can contact me or the city clerk.
Okay, can I have the envelope back, or?
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank you for your time.
We appreciate you coming out. Thank you very much.
This is unfair. Thank you.
Is it Rick Morales? Morales, come on up.
I'm from Puerto Rico. I'm a public information officer with the SBA, but the Office of Disaster Assistance. So we have been here since Debbie. So right now, you know that we have 2 declarations at the same time. So we came to provide updates and valuable information. You all know that even though that we are not grants, we are still an option to the banks, an option to FEMA. We encourage the survivors, homeowners, renters, nonprofits, and businesses to apply with us. Right now, we are waiting for the opening of the BRC and DRC here in Pinellas County. Today, with my colleague, she's a New Yorican. She's really good. We were at the EOC of Pinellas County. We met with the Emergency Management Director, Katie. We know the numbers. Of course, like most of the time, the damages are more on homeowners. The businesses, of course, they still have damages too. Most of the times, it's more economic damages. I'm going to be at the activity on Friday with the president and with the business owners to do networking and to inform them about our programs and more about our resources, not only about disaster assistance, but about our other valuable resources like the SBDC and about all the other programs that we have. We always encourage the people that on times of disaster, hey, apply with Red Cross, apply with Salvation Army, apply for all the most resources as possible. We recommend to apply the same day, same building, no duplication of benefits with FEMA and SBA. That's not duplication of benefit. So that's very helpful because you never know from what part you're going to get the money first. So that's why it's a good idea to apply to do that because that's helpful for the citizens. Also, I came here not just to read a paper. We know that we have 2 declarations at the same time. What that means, the people, we have a deadline for October 9th for physical damages with Debbie. The people that are still applying and or didn't apply or are still doing the process, they need to complete that and apply. Why? If they don't complete the procedures and the deadline pass, they can be denied, or we still always have a grace period, but if you are applying late, what that means that you need to prove why you are applying late and you can be denied. What I want to say also is, if the damages were for Debbie, and if you don't apply with Debbie, and now you apply with for Helene, with damages of Debbie, you are going to be denied because you have to apply for the incident period. But I also want to add that if you had a loan approved with us for Debbie, you can still have another one approved with Helene. So that's very helpful to know too. You can have multiples loans approved with the federal government, with the SBA for both declarations. Why we are important? Because the people can get the money. They might, let me say it, might, because we never know. They might get the money faster with us, and they can get back in their feet quicker because we have the 1 year deferment with 0% interest rates, no nothing for that year. So that's how they can get back in their feet. Because sometimes, let's say if FEMA denies you, we are an alternative. If FEMA provides you funds but are not enough, we are an option. We are not the best option, but for some people, we are still an option. We always do very great in all the declarations. We approve millions of funds for all the constituents that are affected. We call them the survivors, homeowners, renter, nonprofits, and businesses. So also how people use this, even though that some people get discouraged with us, if they have insurance and they are waiting for the payment or settlement, they, instead of waiting for that, they can apply with us instead of waiting for those funds, and they can recover quicker. So when you receive that payment of the insurance company, they have to pay automatically to the federal government because you took that loan because you were waiting for them. They are going to pay that totally or partially depending on the funds and the damages that you had, but that's another technique that the people use. That's another way when SBA, or the Office of Disaster Assistance, comes into play. The constituents use these kind of funds of so many different ways, even though that's why I always say the name doesn't make the thing. Because we are alone, that doesn't mean that we are bad for everyone. We still have benefits. We are still helpful for the people. Why we don't provide grants like FEMA? Because you all know that government don't have enough funds to provide all the funds for the damages of the survivors. So we are always an alternative to them. FEMA is the main character, so we always follow what FEMA do. So we are right now we are working together with FEMA. So they are our partners and colleagues. They are so great with us, and we are doing interviews, city council meetings like the one right now, county commissioners meeting. So we are still putting the work in the field, the outreach. So and we are gonna keep doing that. And thank you so much for the all council members. And please, if you can keep helping us, sharing the information with the citizens, that would be great. Thank you so much for the time. Yeah, I don't want to speak anymore. Yeah.
Thank you for coming out. Great update. Thank you so much for that information.
And I brought the outreach material so you can have it, the fact sheet with all the details
Yep.
of Helene. So, yeah.
Excellent. City Clerk, thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
Next, we have Peter Brown from the Red Cross. Peter, thank you for coming out to our little city. Greatly appreciate it.
Thanks for the invitation. As Dan said, my name is Peter Brown. I am here as an elected official liaison as part of the Red Cross relief effort. For us, it's Disaster Relief Operation 220-25. That's for Florida. Helene has been an extreme challenge for the Red Cross. This is one of 15 operations we are currently staffing in 10 states, all related to damage from Hurricane Helene. So it's a huge task. The Red Cross is the only organization chartered by Congress to deliver disaster relief to the American people. For us, though, it is an unfunded mandate. We rely on the generosity of donors to give us the funds that we need, and we rely, our workforce is 90% volunteers. There are currently over 700 volunteers in Florida, in Tallahassee, based here in Tampa, and every place in between that's been affected by the storm. I'm here tonight representing Mike Brown, who is our regional executive for the Central Florida and U.S. Virgin Islands region of the American Red Cross, and Ella Landegger, who is the chapter board chair here in Tampa. I've been here since Friday. I live in Pennsylvania. I'm a Red Cross executive director in the Lehigh Valley, but I'm also an experienced disaster responder. I was in Texas 2 days after Harvey made landfall and spent a month there. And when I went out this afternoon to the Barrier Islands, Indian Rocks Beach, that looks very familiar. I met the mayor Saturday, and one of the things that makes this work difficult but also rewarding, I met the mayor at an event he invited us to that neighborhood that had not been flooded decided to do a barbecue and a block party for a neighborhood that had been flooded. So there were people grilling, there was food everywhere, there was music. It was really, it felt great to see how your community was rallying together. Then on Sunday, I met Kristen over email and phone, and the Red Cross is one of the organizations that is part of the coalition that is doing phenomenal work here in Oldsmar. You will become an example that I will use when I go to other disasters about how a community can rally together. We use a similar approach in my home chapter after large family fires. And together, we can do so much more. My caution for everyone that's affected is patience. And that's the most difficult part of this, because it's going to take time. It's going to take time to get additional supplies in here. It's going to take time for people to apply for and be awarded assistance. And everybody's struggling, and it's a really difficult environment. So I think the more that the community comes together, the Red Cross is here to be a part of the solution. We are operating a resident shelter here in Pinellas County. It is at the Ross Norton Recreation Center. Our population has actually started to go up a little bit. It started as an evacuation center, and we had evacuation centers open all over Florida. And that basically means a safe place where people can come, but it's not a place where people can stay. So we don't do cots and food and all of that. And then based on working with the county makes the decisions on residential shelters, and the Red Cross provides the staffing and management. So we are currently running that shelter. When I got here on Friday, we had about 62 residents. We're up to 95. We've had some people leave and others come in. The bridge openings were a huge part of some of the people were then able to go out and see how they came through it. We will be here for as long as the community has need. Before I came here to deploy, I was told that there are still places in Florida where people are being sheltered from Idalia. So when I say it can be a long process, the extent of the damage here is extreme. But it's also unusual in that there were not the high winds and heavy rains that normally come with a hurricane. So the damage is very different, and it's structural, and it's going to be a real challenge. But to see how your community has come together, you should be very proud of your city staff people, your first responders. Everyone, from my perspective and my experience, has just been doing a fantastic job, and we are honored to be able to be a part of the recovery for Oldsmar. Thank you.
Peter, great job. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Appreciate it very much. Is there anybody else that would like to be heard? Come on up, Jerry.
Jerry Beaverland, 512 Pine Avenue South. You see the shirt? See the shirt? Oldsmar is an incredible city, and our residents are even more incredible. In fact, our residents makes the city. City government doesn't make the city. It's the residents that make this town what it is. I saw my first hurricane in Largo, Florida in 1949. It didn't impress me very much. I've lived in Oldsmar for almost 60 years. We bought our home here in 1966 when Elena hit us. Our house is right on the bay, right across from the dog park. And they come down and told us we had to evacuate, and I said, you're not making me leave anywhere. And I held my front window open that night. I put boards there, and I held that front window from coming in. I had to replace it later. The employees of Oldsmar have always rose to the occasion, the majority of them. And I'll say this, the government of Oldsmar has always rose to the occasion. We've had some bad storms in this city. Being where we live, we went through some bad storms in this city. Not like this one. This was a storm surge that never has happened here before. This storm is second only to the 1921 hurricane that went through the city across Tampa Road. This storm surge was something, I don't think anybody can really explain it. When our granddaughter was killed, we sold our house. And then we built another house in our backyard, still on Pine Avenue across from the park. This time we built it up high. Pine Avenue South was flooded. And everybody lost everything in their garages. We were, thank you, God. We had everybody's trash in our yard. That's fine. Irish and I drove down the country club in East Shore Drive. And I'm not ashamed to tell you, I almost burst out in tears. We have friends down there that I have known for years and years. And you drive through country club, they've never gotten water before. And you will take care of them. Our first hurricanes, when we moved here, the city wasn't rich and didn't have many trucks. They used my trucks to go up and down East Shore Drive and Country Club, everywhere else, to help people. Of course, they put my truck's wheels in salt water, but that was okay. They used it many times. The city is resilient. And we will recover. I pray for them. I feel so bad for the people in North Carolina, but the people in Country Club and East Shore Drive, if you've never been in it, you'll never understand. You will never understand what they're going through. We had water in our house one time with Elena. I know what they're going through, but not as bad as what they're going through. Pray for them. Help them. And give them resilience. And you're standing up there to help these people. I know a lot of people has been down there to help them. The old man here has been cleaning up his yard. Thank you. I got railroad ties and everything else in it. Anyway, I'll be here at another council meeting to tell you about how City Hall called the Sheriff's Department on me.
Thank you,
Anyway,
Jerry. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And you all do what you have to do for the citizens of this town. Thank you.
Is there anybody else that'd like to be heard? Come on up. Oh, you can come. Oh, John, hold on. Yep. No, you come on, keep coming.
Hello, my name is Bridget O'Donnell. I am the administrator for Clearwater Adult Education Center. We are charged with running the adult education programs from about Ulmerton Road north to the north end of the county. One of our main programs is located at the Oldsmar facility right next to Oldsmar Elementary School. As you know, this past week, the entire facility flooded. We had about 2 to 3 feet of water in the facility, and we have been working diligently with the district to come up with an alternate location for our adult programs there. At that location, we have grown in the past 3 years from approximately 20 students to about 200 students. Those students reside in Oldsmar, outside of Oldsmar. They come to Oldsmar to come to school. Some of them are earning their adult high school diploma, doing the GED program, or in our ESOL program, learning English. Many of them are highly educated from their own country. They come here, they shop, they work, they want to improve their lives here. They went to school on Tuesday, and now they don't have a place. So we're working diligently with the district. I also have our lead ESOL teacher here with us today. She has been a critical link between our students and the resources that you are providing in this area. So thank you for the amazing outpour of just support for our students and for the residents here. One of the challenges, of course, is the language barriers. So, and just the processes of how things are done. And also, for many of them, they're new here. And they have come here and experienced something that I've lived here almost 40 years, and we haven't experienced what we've gone through this past week. So for our staff who are working there, and for our students, and for our teachers, I just want to thank them, and to thank you for supporting us as we continue to try and discover locations within Oldsmar to stay. We're working closely with the principal at Oldsmar Elementary School, who's been extremely supportive, and with our Pinellas County School District to come up with some options. Just thank you for your time. Thank you for letting us come here and just tell you a little about who we are. The students are fantastic. They come from many different countries. Angela can speak to the number of students who are in a classroom and the number of languages that are spoken. Some students have never attended school. Some are doctors, lawyers, engineers, entrepreneurs, and are trying to find the best way forward here. So we love what we do. We love being in Oldsmar, and we look forward to continuing to be here. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for coming out.
If I could, hi, my name is Angela Fayola, and yes, we have the population, a whole bunch of professionals. They're community residents here in Oldsmar. I live in Palm Harbor, but one-third of my life is here in Oldsmar. They participate in so many events, and we participate in the events that you have, Halloween, Christmas, all the events out in the park, which I saw the pier destroyed, and so many of us cried. We organize these students for soft skills, and we just started. We were going to have an LPN certification. They're getting those certificates with our governor, and we had so many dreams, and we built it up so big. It's been almost 20 years this school has been open, and now no one can go there. And the outpour of, like, how can we help others in Oldsmar? They're not even thinking of themselves, you know. So any help we can get, any resources you have, please, please help us. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
John, did you want to come up?
My name is John Durrell. I live on Lemonwood Drive in Harbor Palms. I'm an economist, and I love Oldsmar. I've learned a lot from Mayor Jerry over the past few months, and honestly, no one loves Oldsmar as much as Mayor Jerry. And he's got so much experience and so much knowledge. So when someone like him says this is a big storm and they've never seen anything like it, we all pay attention. Talked to neighbors, lived here for decades and decades. So it's a very serious thing, as we all know, and it's discouraging. It's discouraging to drive down your street and see babies, you know, cribs. You see stuffed animals just piled high. And these are people's lives, and it's super discouraging. But then you have little moments that are encouraging, and you see the hope. Like the gentleman from the Red Cross spoke about, the barbecue. I come down, I see Mayor Dan. I know your house got wrecked too, just like mine, and you feel discouraged, feel sick. But to see you leading from the front, to see you helping out your neighbors, that's encouragement, and that's hope, and that means a lot, because it's tough. It's tough going through it. It's tough being in your house, 2 a.m., and you look outside and you see the water, you know, still rising. It's dark. It's discouraging. It's scary. You know, your kids don't know what's going on, and like you're responsible. You feel responsible. My pets, my dog, my cat. We're going to be okay. I just share my story because I know so many people have been through it, hundreds of houses. Also, driving down Shore Drive, like Jerry mentioned, it's heartbreaking, it's discouraging. But those little moments, talking to the neighbors, interacting with neighbors, people going through it all together, and just those little things, just the small encouragement, the small glimmers of hope. People bring you food. You know, we got the food truck down at the entrance of Harbor Palms. So that's on the cul-de-sac at the end of Lemonwood. If you need a free meal, they told me they'll be there tomorrow as well. So, you know, just heartbreak and hope. Heartbreak and hope. So we're still in the heartbreak phase. That's my message today, is heartbreak and hope, because I know so many people are going through it. And even if your house didn't get flooded, you know people that are. So it's heartbreaking for all of us, but there will be hope. We will come through it. As Jerry said, Oldsmar strong, Oldsmar united, and it's going to be a process, as the gentleman from the Red Cross spoke about. We're looking at quite a timeline, and I guess we're still in the heartbreak phase, at least for me and my family and my neighbors. But the hope is coming. The light will shine again. We love this place. We love the water, even though sometimes the water rises. But those little things that the neighbors are doing are really encouraging. Your mother-in-law picked up my kids for school. I get home from work, and my wife says, "Oh, Ginger came by to pick up the kids for school." I said, "Wow, okay, that's cool. I didn't know that." So it's the little things. It's the little things that are really encouraging, because I know it's tough, and you got to lead from the front. Even though you're rebuilding your own life, your own house, you're leading from the front, and we are united. We are strong, following your leadership. We appreciate it, and as Jerry said, this is about the citizens of Oldsmar, and it's tough, but looking back on it a year or two from now, we'll see that it was our finest moment, coming from heartbreak to hope. So,
Thank you, John. Appreciate you coming out. Is there anybody else that'd like to talk to the council? Suda, you have the floor.
Get everything set up here real quick. All right, good evening, Mr. Mayor, council, staff, and our community. Suda Yanis Cologne, 402 Arlington Avenue East, Oldsmar. Yeah, we were one of those, we only saw 2 feet on Arlington Avenue. There was motorboats going down our streets, but most of us on Arlington were lucky on our side of the street. We'd like to start off our time tonight by sending our prayers to those so devastated by the storm. We know the recovery process is difficult, and so many have lost so much, including some of our own theater families and dance families we work with. Our city has done a fantastic job with all that has been on their shoulders throughout this tough time, and we thank them and our first responders for all that they do. Our continued prayers go out to those still working their way long ahead on this traumatic event, and it is, as everybody is sharing, a traumatic event, whether you've been affected by the floodwaters or not. But as it's been repeated, we are Oldsmar strong, and we will rebuild. As we said, there are a few light moments here and there, and we are here to bring a lighter moment. We are here tonight to bring you a short preview and invitation to a special upcoming performance. Allow me to introduce our Opal Theater cast. And hope all my music plays and everything. looks like only the left side is working for our posters team in the video room. Do I go to the left side? Oh, go to the right. Okay. Kendall, come here and hold this right here for me, because they will do a close-up. No, you got to get behind it. You see how they're closing up? Yeah, hold it right there. They'll get a nice close-up of the poster for us. There we go. We would like to actually invite council to come down and take a photo, so you can hold off for a minute. Bring down council and come have a photo with our cast, please. I didn't bring any tutus for anybody today, so I think you're all set at this point. And I have a couple parents that are going to come up and help take photos for us. I'll bring you back, Kendall. Let's bring mayor and staff right in here next to our new ladies. Everybody out to the side a little bit. Twist inward. You know how to do photos. Come on, I've been working with so many of you. Bring our council in over here. Yep. Twist inward. Closer. Twist inward. Closer. Go back. Squish to the back. Always the director. Always the director. Oh, I'm gonna go here too.
Stand up, you can stand up.
Allison and Savannah Squishy.
All right, everyone look at the camera, smile. Say, we love Opal. We love Opal. We love Oldsmar. We love Oldsmar.
Okay, wait, hold on. I need to get that on a video.
Oh, she wants to get that on the video.
Aha,
One more
sorry.
time. We love Opal. We love Opal. We love Oldsmar. We love Oldsmar. We are Oldsmar strong. We are Oldsmar strong. Awesome. We got them all? Wait. City Hall. Everybody look at Mr. Chip.
I'll share them with you.
Thank you, Suda. Thank you, everybody. Good job.
Everybody else stay there. Council, please have your seats. Kendall, now you can come back down and hold this for me. And in the meantime, Yvonne, take and turn these around and give one to each of the council members. Give these on your side.
Thank you.
All the way around. And we have some more. So as we said, we're bringing you a little lighter note from our Opal Theater. We have decided, after discussing with parents, other groups, our board, to push on through with our show. We think that our Frozen Junior performance next weekend is something that's needed to offer our kids some type of normalcy. Keep them moving, keep them engaged, keep them with their families, and as they face these difficult challenges, and give our community and families a much needed reprise from the devastating cleanup. Next Saturday, October 12th, Opal Theater will present Disney's Frozen Junior at 7 p.m. at Ari Olds Park, Elizabeth Smith Amphitheater stage. We will have food vendors, Pit Stop on Wheels, and Uncle Dave's Kettle Corn opening at 6 p.m., so we tell you to come for dinner and a show. Bring your chairs and blankets, and we hope the sun will stay out and keep our park dried up for next weekend. This production is brought to you by our Oldsmar Friends of the Arts, along with our contributing sponsors, the City of Oldsmar, Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce, the Ed and Ginger Team, Future Home Realty, Knights of Columbus, and Express Oil Change and Tire Engineers. And we thank them all for their support. We couldn't do this without you and all of them, so thank you so much. I want to say thank you for your time here tonight. And we hope you can all come see the show next Saturday. Did I forget anything? Did they get a close-up of your picture? Are you facing the right way?
Yeah.
We got it.
Yeah, we got it.
There you go. Okay.
You did great.
And as we leave tonight, we're going to give you this small message to take with you. As soon as I can get music cued. you know,
A little bit of
Yeah, I
cheer.
needed
Thank
as you
Suda.
know, I have to compose myself after
needed
that.
that.
That is a brief preview. We hope you all can come out and join our show. We hope everyone can find a way to let it go, love each other, and get through these tough times together. And for us, we will keep the kids going, and we will hope to see everyone out for our Let It Go Frozen Junior show. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else want postcards in our audience real quick? I forgot to get the kids to give them out. Thank you. As I'm crying, and as I'm bawling, and I'm leaving, thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else that would like to speak to the council? With that, I'm going to close the Oldsmar Open Forum. The next item on our agenda is the Community Minute, which will be read by our city clerk, Kristen Garcia.
Thank you, Mayor. Oldsmarstrong.com for resources, cleanup, and recovery assistance and information pertaining to Hurricane Helene community efforts. The city has created a specific site that includes these tools and more. Visit oldsmarstrong.com, and there is a flyer in the back this evening. This is the flyer that was mailed out, handed out to impacted residents. There is a copy in the back for those impacted. It has that website link on the back of it. Report damages homes. Pinellas County requests that those with residential properties report the damages sustained from Hurricane Helene. Pictures of structural damage or flooding are requested. Please take a moment to assist the county, help the community's eligibility for storm recovery funding. Pinellas.gov/report damage. Rebuilding. Check with the Planning and Redevelopment Department at 813-749-1142 or email building@myoldsmar.com before you begin construction to ensure you are dealing with a licensed contractor. Pinellas.gov/choosing-a-contractor. And again, FEMA assistance is available to Pinellas County eligible residents who experience damages, losses by Helene. And please apply online at disasterassistance.gov. And again, FEMA assistance is also on the flyer, along with the information on rebuilding. Thank you.
Great job, thank you very much. Next item is approval of additional new agenda items. We have several. We have 4, 5, 8, 10, and 15. I'm looking for a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion passes. Next is awards and recognition, proclamation and presentation proclaiming October 6th through 12th, 2024 as Fire Prevention Week, and Councilmember Valerie Tadaszewski will be doing that.
You gotta hit your hand.
Give it a little.
Get a tap.
This is my first proclamation, if you can't tell. But I'm here. We're going to get it done. You want to join me? All right. 2024 Fire Prevention Week. Whereas the City of Oldsmar is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all of those living in and visiting Oldsmar, and whereas fire is a serious public safety concern, both locally and nationally, and homes are locations where people are at the greatest risk from fire, and whereas home fires killed more than 2,700 people in the United States in 2022, according to the National Fire Protection Association, and fire departments in the United States responded to 360,000 home fires. And whereas roughly 3 out of 5 fire deaths happen in homes with either no smoke alarms or with no working smoke alarms. And whereas smoke alarms sense smoke well before you can, alerting you to danger in the event of fire, in which you may have as little as 2 minutes to escape safely. Working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires almost in half. And whereas Oldsmar residents should install smoke alarms in every sleeping room, outside each separate sleeping area and on every level of the home. And whereas Oldsmar residents should make sure their smoke alarms meet the needs of all of their family members, including those with sensory or physical disabilities. And whereas Oldsmar residents should test smoke alarms at least once a month. And whereas Oldsmar residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. And whereas Oldsmar first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education. And whereas the 2024 Fire Prevention Week theme is Smoke Alarms, Make Them Work for You, serves to remind us of the importance of having working smoke alarms in the home. Now, therefore, I, Valerie Tadaszewski, on behalf of Dan Saraki, Mayor of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, do hereby proclaim October 6th through 12th, 2024, as Fire Prevention Week throughout the city, and urge all the people of Oldsmar to make sure their homes have working smoke alarms and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of Oldsmar's fire and emergency services.
Picture. Dave, you want to say something?
Trying to jump into the presentation.
Here's a presentation.
Hang on, one.
Team.
We have a team. Yeah. Thanks for coming tonight, guys. I'm sure you're exhausted.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Got it.
Good job, guys. Good job, Valerie.
Hello. Okay, it's on. You ready? There it is. Okay. So I have a little presentation for Fire Prevention Week. Just go over what it's all about and what we're doing in the city. So Fire Prevention Week initially was from President Calvin Coolidge in 1925, and they brought together all kind of activities throughout the country that had started going over just fire prevention practices that all generated from the Great Chicago Fire in 1871. That fire destroyed over 4 square miles of buildings. It was just devastating. That's why today you'll see most fire inspectors or fire marshals that we have making sure that businesses and homes are up to date with stuff. So this year, next week, 6th through the 12th, we're going to observe this year's Fire Prevention Week. And like she said, smoke alarms, we're going to make them work for you. Okay? So like they said before, 74% of all home fires had working smoke alarms to this day, which is a good number. But 59% of all fire deaths between the years of 2018 to 2022 either didn't have a smoke alarm or didn't have one that was working properly. So smoke alarms have been proven to save lives and to prevent a lot of damage. The quicker you are to react, the quicker we are to get there to help you. So some safety alarm tips. Yes, we want them throughout your home, not just 1 or 2. In every bedroom, outside every living area, on every level of your home, and at least more than 10 feet from a cooking area. I'm a good cook, I guess. I don't know. No, maybe not. All right. So, and you should also test them once a month. They're real easy to test. There's a little button on there. You just push them. Yes, they're going to make a sound, but at least you know they're working. So if they're not working, then that's you know they need to be replaced. If they actually take a battery, because there's many smoke detectors nowadays that have a 10-year battery, which you don't have to worry about, you need to replace that every 6 months. And every smoke detector, no matter what it is or what it's for or what batteries it takes, is every 10 years, replace the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So smoke detectors tend to have an issue sometimes with dust or small little critters get in there and they block little sensors. And so they sometimes can go off and not work properly. So we make sure we keep up to date. So for next week, we're going to be doing a lot of station visits with kids from the local schools and going out to local schools and spreading the message about fire safety, just not about smoke alarms, but about having a escape plan and being fire safety at home. We'll also visit the, well, this is some other stuff we do is have fire extinguisher training. We do a lot within the businesses of this city, and we teach a lot of our employees about fire extinguisher training. This is us changing a smoke detector, being safety conscious with a ladder. And if you guys if anyone ever needs assistance, they can call the fire station, and we'll send the crews out, or myself or a fire marshal will come out, and we can help you get that stuff squared away. We just did 7 in a house that all of them need to be replaced. So they're all 10 years old, so they need to be replaced. All right. And not so much Fire Prevention Week, but our Touch a Truck is coming up January 18th. Feel free to pass it along as much as you can. We have a wonderful time. The guys really love it. Yeah. So I can tell. It's great. It's a great time. This is our 4th year, so if we get any bigger, we're going to have to find a new place. But it's going good. We've had a really good turnout, and I can't thank them enough for all the hard work they do. So, and that's it. Any questions?
Any questions?
Thank
Great
you
job,
so
Dave.
much.
Thank you. All right, next item on our agenda is the Community Redevelopment Agency. I'm going to open up the Community Redevelopment Agency portion of the meeting, and City Manager Felicia Donnelly will introduce the item.
Thank you, Mayor. This is to adopt Resolution 2024-44, establishing the CRA performance measures and standards per Florida Statute 189.0694. Matthew Jackson has a presentation.
Good evening, Council. Matt Jackson with the Planning and Redevelopment Department. Fantastic. As Felicia introduced, this is to discuss the CRA performance measures pursuant to Florida Statute 1890694. So during the 2024 legislative session, a new bill was passed requiring special districts, including CRAs, to establish performance measures and standards for its activities. Under the statute, each district must set goals and objectives for each program and activity undertaken by the district, along with performance measures to evaluate progress. So a summary of the projects in the CRA is we have the downtown redevelopment of the City Hall site development, as well as the library site, also called Odeon. The downtown mobility study, St. Petersburg Drive complete streets, feasibility of the CRA extension, residential paint-up, fix-up grants, property acquisition, and streetscape improvements. First, regarding downtown redevelopment, the goals are effective community engagement, quality of place, and economic development, with the objective being to support the City Council's efforts to redevelop city-owned parcels near the library and the City Hall. Performance measures are a percentage of RFP development processes completed within the established schedule, number of proposals received from qualified firms, and the percentage of those meeting evaluation criteria, the number of substantive comments received from community members during public engagement sessions, and progress and redevelopment process post-selection. Next, we have the downtown mobility study, also called the Safe Streets for All. The goals are public safety and quality of place, with the objective being to enhance roadway safety for all users. The downtown mobility study will evaluate mobility in the downtown area, focusing on safety, equity, and multimodal networks. It includes a community walking audit, traffic control assessment, and public engagement. The study will provide infrastructure recommendations and a prioritized project list to apply for the Safe Streets for All implementation grant. Performance measures are the percentage of major project deliverables completed within the project timeline, number of safety improvements identified, the number of community participants in workshops, and timely submission of the grant application based on the recommended priority list. Next, we have the St. Petersburg Drive Complete Streets Project. The goals are public safety, quality of place, and the objective is to design and implement complete streets improvements on St. Petersburg Drive, including sidewalks, crosswalks, and bike lanes to support all modes of transportation. To integrate stormwater management features to treat runoff, and coordinate with engineering firms and regulatory agencies to ensure compliance with local, environmental, and FDOT requirements. The performance measures are to incorporate design features for pedestrians, cyclists, and vehicles, addressing the needs of all transportation users, while ensuring compliance with local, state, and federal regulations. To design and implement stormwater management systems that comply with environmental standards and ensure effective treatment of runoff. To maintain effective coordination with engineering firms and regulatory agencies to ensure smooth project progression and compliance, and project completion within budget and timeline. Next, we have the feasibility of the CRA extension. So the goals here are economic development, fiscal responsibility, and quality of place. And the objective is to assess the feasibility of extending the CRA life cycle. Performance measures are completion of a financial and legal review to determine extension viability, and evaluation of potential economic, social, and environmental impacts, and then presentation of the extension recommendations to the City Council. Next, we have homeowner paint and fix-up grant program in the CRA. The goals are quality of place, and the objective is to enhance the neighborhood by providing up to $1,000 in matching funds to homeowners in the CRA for exterior improvements, including painting, windows, door replacement, landscaping, porch upgrades, roofing, driveway installation, fencing, outdoor lighting, architectural design, and hurricane protection. Performance measures are the number of homeowners participating in the program and the amount of matching funds distributed. Also, property acquisition within the CRA, the goals being quality of place and economic development. And the objective is to revitalize urban areas and address the physical, social, and economic issues associated with blighted areas within the CRA. Performance measure is the number of blighted properties acquired. Also, streetscape improvements within the CRA. Goals being quality of place and public safety. The objective is to enhance the visual appeal, safety, and accessibility of the downtown area through targeted streetscape improvements, such as pedestrian-friendly sidewalks, upgraded intersections, improved lighting, and signage as needed. Performance measures being number of streetscape improvements completed, the number of new or upgraded signs and infrastructure elements installed. And the recommendation is to adopt Resolution 2024-44 to establish the goals, objectives, and performance measures for each project activity to ensure consistency with the new Florida statutory requirement 189.0694. This does conclude my presentation.
Thank you, Matt. Any questions for staff? Great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm just going to hang out here to get my next presentation ready, but please move forward.
All right, you got it.
But before we move forward, Mayor, I'm going to read the resolution by title only.
Sure.
Resolution 2024-44, resolution of the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, acting as a community redevelopment agency, establishing goals, objectives, and performance measures for projects and activities of the Community Redevelopment Agency and providing for an effective date hereof, and staff recommends approval.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on this item? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. I am going to close the CRA portion of the meeting and return back to our city council meeting. And the next item on our agenda is the consent docket, and that will be read by our city clerk, Kristen Garcia.
Item 3, approve minutes of September 17th, 2024 council meeting. Item 4, approve minutes of September 24th, 2024 emergency meeting. Item 5, approve annual purchase of sodium hypochlorite from from Odyssey Manufacturing Company under the same pricing terms and conditions as the Tampa Bay Water Cooperative bid, contract number 2022-016. Approve award of the sludge hauling and disposal services contract to Appalachian Material Services, Inc. under the same pricing terms and conditions as the City of Tarpon Springs contract number IFB 2000049BJL. Approve award to Pace Analytical Services for environmental laboratory testing services utilizing the same pricing terms and conditions as the City of Atlantic Beach RFP number 21-01. Approve awarding the purchase of annual citywide fuel to Palmdale Oil Company, Inc. per the same pricing terms and conditions of Pinellas County Cooperative Contract 1900360B. Approve the annual purchase of sodium hydroxide from Allied Universal Corporation under the same pricing terms and conditions as the Tampa Bay Water Cooperative bid contract number 2024-006. Approve the purchase of carbon dioxide from the Airgas USA LLC under the same pricing terms and conditions as Tampa Bay Water Cooperative bid contract number 2025012. Item 11, approve purchases for the repair, replacement, or supply of utility plant equipment from Mater Electric Motors per the same pricing terms and conditions of Lee County contract number B240030KCW.
Thank you very much. Does anybody wish to pull anything from the consent docket?
No.
All right, then I'll entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on any of the items?
No.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item is our city attorney, Tom Trask.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 12 is the public hearing and first reading of ordinance 2024-17. I'll read that by title only. Ordinance 2024-17, an ordinance of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, amending the Land Development Code to revise the definition of accessory structure, to require building plans for accessory structures over 100 square feet to be compliant with the Florida Building Code, to amend the location of accessory structures in residential districts, providing for conflict, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date of this ordinance. That was the first reading of ordinance 2024-17 by title only.
Thank you very much. This is a public hearing. Matt, you have the floor.
Thank you. Good evening again, Council. Matt Jackson, Planning and Redevelopment, to discuss the accessory structure standards text amendment with city application number CA 24-06. The purpose of this text amendment is to update the accessory structure definition and location criteria for consistency with the Florida Building Code, FEMA regulations, and review standards. Accessory structures such as sheds and garages are common in residential areas and are subject to various regulations, including zoning, flood, and building. The current definitions of accessory structures lack references to flood regulations and the Florida Building Code requirements. Additionally, Land Development Code Section 5.1.9.1 requires that accessory structures on all residentially zoned properties be set back from 5 feet from other structures. This provision allows for better exterior maintenance of the structure activities and better air circulation around structures. This is a request to amend Land Development Code of the City of Oldsmar, amending Section 5.1.9, location of accessory structures and uses in residential districts, Article 2 definitions, Section 2.1, amending definitions for accessory structure, and Section 3.3.2 building permits, subsection 3.3.2.2, requiring building plans designed in accordance with the current Florida Building Code for accessory structures over 100 square feet. The text amendment was reviewed against the 3 conditions outlined in Section 3.13.2. The first being that the amendment complies with the comprehensive plan and advances the purposes of the Land Development Code. The comprehensive plan requires that growth and development be managed through the land development regulations, ensuring consistency with FEMA standards and National Flood Insurance Program regulations and all relevant state, regional, and county standards. Since most properties in Oldsmar are in flood zones, they must comply with FEMA construction requirements, including those for accessory structures. Section 6.16.7 of the Land Development Code specifically outlines standards for accessory structures in flood zones. The amended definition will now reference these flood regulations to guide both applicants and staff reviewers. It also clarifies that accessory structures over 100 square feet require building plans compliant with the Florida Building Code. The amendment complies with the comprehensive plan, advances the purpose land development code. Most residential districts, including the R6 district, allow accessory structures with specific placement regulations, such as the required 5-foot setback from other structures on the property. However, most properties in the R6 district have narrower lot widths and less space between side property lines and existing homes compared to the other districts. Applying the same zoning standards used for larger residential lots, such as those in the E1, E2, R1, RPD, and R2 districts, to the narrower lots creates challenges in maintaining uniform zoning code applicability, particularly regarding shed placement. Therefore, staff recommends exempting the R6 district from these requirements. And the amendment will contribute to the promote community welfare. The amendment will promote community welfare by ensuring uniform code applicability through standards like the Florida Building Code and FEMA regulations. The amendment will also enhance community welfare by recognizing the unique zoning of the R6 district and exempting it from the standard 5-foot setback requirement for accessory structures. Number 3, the amendment will not grant a special privilege to an individual property owner. The proposed text amendment to revise the accessory structure definition standards will apply citywide, as there are multiple residential districts throughout the city. The revised setback standards in the R6 district will apply to the entire zoning district. As such, no individual property owner will be granted a special privilege. As such, based on the above discussion and the review against Section 3.13.2 standards for approval, staff recommends that the City Council adopt an ordinance to amend Section 2.1 of the Land Development Code to revise the definition of accessory structures, amend Section 3.3.2 to revise the area threshold for a building permit, and amend Section 5.1.9 to revise the accessory structure location requirements. At the September 11th, 2024 meeting, the Planning Board voted unanimously, recommending approval, and I'm asking that the staff report be accepted into the record. This does conclude my presentation.
Thank you very much. Any questions for staff?
Matt, if you could just confirm that R6 is mobile homes, correct?
Correct.
Okay, just making sure that was stated.
Anything else? All right, this is a public hearing. I'm going to open the public hearing. Is there any citizens that would like to speak on this matter? Come on up, please.
You can give it to Mayor.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Just introduce your name and your address for the record, please.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor Saraski, member of the City Council, and the residents of the City of Oldsmar. My name is Roma Patel, and I'm a public policy and administration student at St. Petersburg College. I'm conducting a case study for my policy leadership class on this amendment. But first of all, I would like to thank two important people. First, Principal Planner Matthew Jackson for his expertise and time, and the City Clerk Christine Garcia for providing all the necessary information in timely manner regarding this subject. So I understand the objective behind this amendment. Therefore, I'm here to support my support for this proposed text amendment to Article 2 definitions, Section 3.3.2 building permits, and Section 5.1.9 location of accessory structure in residential district of the City of Oldsmar Land Development Code. The principal goal of this amendment is to enhance clarity in the regulations and ensure reliable application across the city, particularly concerning the accessory structure like sheds and garages. These structures are common in residential areas and play a significant role in the community. For most, the amendment updates the definition of accessory structure to include essential references to flood regulation, the Florida Building Code, the National Flood Insurance Program regulation, and all state and county regulations. Given that many of Oldsmar's neighborhood are in flood zone, so it is crucial that these structures are made to survive potential flooding. By ensuring that all the accessory structure over 100 square feet obey to the Florida Building Code. It is not only safeguarding individual properties, but also protecting the whole community from potential damage during the storm events. Also, the current setback requirement mandates that all the accessory structure be placed at least 5 feet from one another and from the main building. But this standard creates challenges in the R6 district where the lot sizes are narrower. The proposed amendment identifies this unique situation, proposing the R6 property defer to the HOA bylaws, which permit for shades to be placed as close as 1 foot from the mobile homes. This flexibility will allow the residents in R6 district to use their property more effectively while keeping safety and compliance with the regulations. In addition, these updates promote community welfare by setting up the uniform standard that enhance the safety and aesthetic of neighborhoods. By supporting the accessory structure regulation with the Florida Building Code and FEMA standards, we are ensuring that all the properties are held to the same high standard, reducing the risk associated with the flooding and storm damages. Importantly, this amendment does not grant special rights to individual property owners. It applies city-wide, ensuring impartiality and consistency for all the residents. This unbiased approach to zoning reflects commitment to orderly and responsible development. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for coming
you.
out. Great job.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else that would like to be heard? With that, I'm going to close the public hearing. I will entertain a motion for approval.
So moved?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Vice Mayor Steve Graber,
Yes.
Councilmember Valerie Tadaszewski,
Yes.
Councilmember Andrew Knapp,
Yes.
Councilmember Gannon,
Yes.
Mayor Saraki.
Yes.
The ordinance passes on a first reading with 5 votes for and 0 against.
Thank you very much. Item 13.
Thank you, Mayor. On July 16, 2024, Council adopted Resolution 2024-27 approving the library material review policy. At a meeting on August 27th of this year, Council discussed the need to limit how often the same library material item can be reconsidered within a specific time frame. In that regard, I prepared Resolution 2024-42. I'm going to read that resolution by title only. This is Resolution 2024-42, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, revising its policy outlining the procedure for individuals to request reconsideration of public library materials, repealing Resolution 2024-27, and providing for an effective date hereof. When you look at the attachment, the change that was made, the fourth bullet point under paragraph, Article 3, paragraph 2, we added the language, formal requests will only be accepted for materials that have not already been reviewed by the Reconsideration Committee. If the material has undergone review from the Reconsideration Committee, the requester will be provided with the decision made by the committee. That was the only change to the exhibit. And Resolution 2024-42 is there for your consideration.
Thank you very much. I'll motion in a second. Any discussion? All right, roll call, please. Oh, no, roll call on this one. Just all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. City Manager Felicia Donnelly, you have item 14. You're next.
Item number 14, Mayor, is the presentation from Empowered Venture Operations of Tampa Bay LLC. In February 2016, the city entered into an agreement with Empowered Venture Operations Tampa Bay LLC to operate and manage a zipline canopy tour facility at the Mobley Bayou Wilderness Preserve. Joe DeRing is here to give an update.
Good evening, council members, mayor, vice mayor. Before I begin, just want to give my heartfelt thoughts and prayers to all the citizens affected by Hurricane Helene. We were very fortunate at the site, 423 Lafayette Boulevard, where Empowered Ventures sits. We were very fortunate, but at some future day and time when it makes sense, would love to have a city event out at our facility and to just bond and get together and celebrate, you know, the strength and the pride that is City of Oldsmar. And so we'd love to figure that out with Chip and with the city. But prior to the storm, we had this update, this annual update scheduled, so I figure we'll go through it. I know you all are exhausted and won't take up too much of your time. Let's see here.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, so for those who aren't familiar with Empower Adventures, our mission is to empower individuals and teams through adventure experiences. We offer the Zipline Adventure Experience, which is their Mobley Bayou Wilderness Preserve. We also do guided paddling adventures. Believe it or not, that's me with my kids 8 years ago when we opened the facility.
Wow.
And they are definitely not that small now. So why adventure with us? These are some of our guiding principles. Safety first. Saying we have on our team is 100% safe 100% of the time. Family friendly, everything we do can be done as a family. For those who haven't been, we'd love to get you up there, but on the top of the course, you can see all the way down to the city of Tampa, across Courtney Campbell Causeway to Clearwater and south to St. Petersburg, all from the top of the tower there on Mobley Bayou. And of course, our team building programs are the hallmark of Empower Adventures and really the passion for doing what we do. So, next slide. Some numbers here, throughput at the park. Last year we did almost 13,000 people through the park, which is awesome. 2021, coming out of the pandemic, was our best year ever, everybody wanting to be outside. But we've really started to normalize, but that normal throughput is way above what it was prior to the pandemic. So we're seeing steady growth. And overall, in 8+ years, we've hosted over 80,000 people in the park, which is great. How people are hearing about us, of course, to the almighty Google search reigns supreme. But you notice some of the other ones at the top might be a surprise: word of mouth, return visitors, the Groupon promotion, social media, networking, and then park visitors. No slouch, over 1,500 people just coming out to the park, thinking, wow, stumbling upon us and taking us up on our offer. So overall, we pay a revenue share to the city of Oldsmar. In 8+ years, we paid almost $350,000 to the city. So economic impact, we do unofficial studies. Everybody who comes out, we ask what they're up to, where they're going, what they're doing out this way. And 8 out of 10 guests spend money in Oldsmar outside of Empower Adventures. We have a lot of synergy with a lot of the different businesses and attractions here in the city, creating a true destination for people who are coming from outside of Pinellas or Hillsborough counties. Tampa Bay Skating Academy, the flea market, all the different restaurants. Most recently, the Casbah Coffee Shop has become a recent favorite of the employees as well as our guests. So, loving creating the energy and the synergy with local spots. And we employ over 30 people, full-time and part-time, who travel to Oldsmar every day. So empowering those who need it most, obviously giving back is a big part of our business plan. We believe that empowering those who need it most is really our purpose. And so just in the last 12 months, we've donated to local charities and nonprofits about $35,000 in cash, in-kind services, discounted products, services, giveaways, things like that. So, it's a big part of what we do, and really looking forward to doing that in the wake of the storm and helping the citizens in the city recover. So, we, every year, I don't know if you guys see it come through, but every year we're nominated for a best of activity with the Visit St. Pete Clearwater survey. Generally, we're in the local favorites, Best Family Activity, which also puts us with Clearwater Marine Aquarium, which is a juggernaut in this category. So we have yet to take them down and finish first. However, every year we're growing and competing and giving them more and more of a challenge. So hopefully soon we can take them down. That would be fun. Community partners, obviously the city of Oldsmar is at the top of the list for us. The city, Felicia and the mayor, city council, staff, leisure services have always, since day one, since February of 2016 when this project was approved, have been our biggest supporters, have been our best partner, and we look forward to that continued relationship and working together. I can't say enough about the partnership, so thank you to all those involved. We also are partners with some of the different leadership groups in the area, Leadership Pinellas, Leadership Tampa Bay, Visit Tampa Bay, Visit St. Pete Clearwater, as I mentioned. All of those organizations do a great job in helping to promote our business, but also create synergy amongst all the other businesses to really create impact. And so that's what we're here to do. In our media, so this year alone, we've had a bunch of different media spots come out. I know Mayor Saraki saw me on News Channel 8 just a couple weeks ago, which was amazing. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Misty Wells. She has a show on Discovery Channel. She's been out. She might be our biggest media fan. She's been out multiple times. You see her there ziplining. We've had a spot from Fox, and probably the most interesting spot that we've had this past year was the crew from Jersey Shore had come out. And talk about high maintenance individuals. Those people were difficult to deal with. There was one individual who didn't want to wear a helmet, so he didn't zip. And so that didn't go over well, but 100% safe 100% of the time. So, but overall, we've had a lot of fun with the media and giving Oldsmar the props that it deserves and being the best spot in Tampa Bay to zip line and adventure. So that's our quick update. Any questions for me?
Any questions?
Thank you, Joe.
I got a question.
Go
Are you
ahead.
operational right now, or are you guys?
We are, yes, indeed. We, like I said, we're very fortunate, just sustained some minor damage to some of the wooden structures that can very easily be replaced and fixed. We have, as of Saturday, we were open and running, obviously trying to do so as much as we can within the climate and environment of everybody. But like I said, when the time is right and when it makes sense, we'd love to have a community event out there so that people can just go zip lining and not have to worry about anything else. So,
Glad to hear.
thank you.
Joe.
Thanks, Joe. We love having you in Oldsmar. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. Likewise. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Item 15.
Item number 15 is approve the special event application fee waiver request and use of the city logo for the Cavalier Rescue of Florida's Cavi Fest 2025 to be held on February 1st, 2025. Cavalier Rescue of Florida is an all-volunteer nonprofit 501c3 rescue organized to benefit Cavalier King Charles Spaniels in need. For 24 years now, the rescue has saved hundreds of spaniels, placing them in loving homes. This fundraising event will be held on Saturday, February 1st at the Janice Miller Dog Park at Mobley Bayou Wilderness Preserve. It's anticipated to draw over 200 participants from across the state, resulting in overnight hotel bookings and restaurant visits. The item requests a waiver of fees in the amount of $500. Consistent with the special event guide, the Cavalier Rescue of Florida requests that the city waive fees associated with the event. All other external costs will be the event organizer's responsibility. The Cavalier Rescue of Florida will recognize the city as a sponsor at the appropriate level and may use the city logo to recognize such sponsorship. Copy of the application is attached for review.
Thank you very much. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion on this item?
Can't wait to see all the dogs.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
They're going to give them away. That's exactly what she said. All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. City Clerk, you have anything for us?
I do not, thank you.
Okay. Next is City Council, and item 16 is consider scheduling work session on the city-owned property near City Hall John Meyer Stanberry Development will join us. And do you have some dates for us?
So the dates were in the agenda item. Does council wish to make a motion for a specific date?
Do we have, anybody have any special date you would like to jump in on? I think, did I say October 30th? I didn't have my book when I talked to you. Do you have my notes? I'm sorry.
I believed November 6th worked for you.
Oh, no, it was November 6th.
That worked for me as well. November 6th.
Works for my schedule.
Solid date for me.
November 6th it is. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right. Next item is item 17. Schedule work session to consider a special event application fee waiver. Do I have that right? All right, and what, I picked October 30th for that date, correct?
I believe all the dates worked for you,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
Is October 30th okay for that? For anybody else?
Hang on. Let me double check something.
I have no issue with any of the dates, so yeah, that would work for me.
They all work for me as well.
All right.
I'm good as well, so
And that's the
just
day
pending.
before Halloween, so we can get some
Councilmember Gannon.
candy.
All of those dates worked for everybody? Okay.
Or you can get 2-week-old candy on the November 14th.
That's true.
This would be 6 to 8 p.m.? I have a pending trial on the 30th. November 14th works the best for me, if that's okay with you guys. I have a trial caveat, they call it, which it might go, it might not go. But if it does go, I don't want to miss it.
Not interfere.
Okay?
Yep.
Like I said, yeah, all of them were fine.
No, I play
14,
hockey, but it's okay. Katie, for you, I'll do it.
Thank you, I
Of
appreciate
course,
your
no, I understand. You gotta
flexibility.
work. I believe me, I understand. Yeah, so November 14th, I need a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item is item 18, discuss speed detection systems in school zones, and Councilmember Andrew Knapp will introduce this item.
Thank you, Mayor. As many of you may already know, last year, the Florida House passed a bill, 657, that was titled Enforcement of School Zone Speed Limits. So basically what it allows is for speed detection systems, as they're called out in the bill, but basically to allow for automated speed detection and subsequent ticketing of vehicles for people that are speeding in a school zone. I think with one of our priorities of enhancing safety for all modalities, I think that aligns really well. Me personally, being in a background of manufacturing and embracing technology, I'm a big fan of doing things that will potentially increase safety. Obviously, we don't know that because there's not a lot of data yet about these new systems out there. But more or less, I wanted to kind of open up the discussion a little bit and get the temperature of the council to see what interest we have in potentially exploring this. Some of the cities that have already approved the use of these is St. Cloud, Fort Walton Beach, and this is just sampling, it's not comprehensive. St. Cloud, Fort Walton Beach, Cape Coral, Haines City, other cities considering it, Doral, Boynton Beach, Sarasota, so kind of all across the state, and counties are considering it as well. One other one that did approve it and has it, I think, just recently active is South Miami. They have already, since the start of this school year, issued 3,500 warnings. So basically how these systems get rolled out is there's a requirement of a 30-day window where basically all the signage is up, the system is active, but they will just give warnings. So everybody's kind of say, you can't say you didn't know, and you'll get a warning so that you won't be surprised the next time that you potentially get ticketed. The fines are $100 per ticket. So that's kind of all I have, but more or less just wanted to kind of get the conversation going to see if that's something we would wish to consider. And then obviously city staff would probably take it from there. And just out of coincidence, I think we all may have gotten an email today from a vendor, so they must be watching and listening.
Oh.
Big brother.
He's listening on your phone.
Maybe, I don't know.
So it's like a ticket by plate, like a toll by plate sort of thing?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
There's a company in Oldsmar that does that.
There's actually
Your office.
another thing that's interesting is
then this wouldn't be a decision for us, but I find it interesting is, this bill also allowed for basically technology to be deployed and installed on buses to issue citations for people illegally passing buses or not stopping. And it's same thing in South Miami. They've already issued over 11,000 passing violations. So it is, I mean, obviously it's Miami, so it's like Mad Max out of control down there, much
there's a
larger
lot of-
district, so
yeah,
the
larger
numbers here
districts.
hopefully would be considerably smaller.
Okay, so I have a quick question. I remember when we deployed the the camera systems on Forest Lakes and Tampa Road.
Right, as well as
It was-
580.
Yeah, it was a city clerk nightmare, because she was handing out tickets to all these people. How's that process gonna work? Is that gonna be the same type
So
of?
the way I understand it right now is that there's basically a third party that handles all the processing, and then they still kind of cross-check that with law enforcement to make it official before then those citations, or in this case, in the front end, warnings are issued. So it seems, and obviously it's prudent for us to probably get more information to say, like, is this something that we really want to proceed with, knowing what are the impacts to staff, our local law enforcement as well, kind of getting, are they on board? I don't know. I haven't had those conversations myself. So.
And then one more question, I'll get you next.
Absolutely, thank you.
Do we have one or two? You said one manufacturer. I didn't see the email today, but you said.
Oh, I got an email. I believe the city manager did. I don't know if we all did, but yeah. Or maybe it actually went to Kristen, and then I think she.
So there are several manufacturers that do this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Vice Mayor was next. You're next.
Is it when the light is flashing?
It's only during when it's an active school zone and not at all times, because that's what the bill, you can't just go throw it up anywhere.
Right.
It has to be where there's a school zone and only during the active hours. I think South Miami was like, it's 30 minutes prior to school start, which is probably when the school zone kicks in. So, and maybe there's a little bit of adjustment allowed there based on each district.
And one other thing, and officer, you're probably gonna laugh, but what's the definition of speeding?
Gotta be 10 mile, 10 over.
10 over, is
That's
it 10 over?
That's how
Okay.
these systems are, and how
Gotcha.
the bill is.
No, I was just, because when you drive down Pine, and you know it well, you know everybody, we all know it well, but like they always tell you how fast you're going. And I mean, you see 27 and it's blinking, and I'm always like right back down to 25, and then when it's 15, I'm going 13, and people are almost like beeping their horns, and I'm like, it's a school, like, what do you want me to
chance
do?
it.
My kids go to school here. Like, I'm going to drive slowly, but it's just, it always just makes me laugh first. It's like, well, is it 1 mile an hour over? Or like, when are they gonna start enforcing it? But now I know. That answered my questions. Thank you, Mayor.
Right, sure. Councilmember Gannon.
Yeah, just a couple of questions. I am definitely interested in additional research on it. I'm curious if there's any upfront cost to the city, any maintenance cost for the city. I'm interested in who would maintain the equipment, who would own the equipment. Of course, I'm sure there's data sharing if obviously these cities have information data shared. And then I was curious where the fines go. Does that third-party company just collect the $100? Is it divided in any way? And then, obviously, not something for this week, but if city staff had the opportunity, maybe in the next, I don't know, whenever they have time, because hurricane. I would be interested to hear some of the feedback from some of those representative cities that you mentioned, if it was something they are happy with, or something in retrospect maybe not happy with.
Sure.
If there's a contract that they would require, for how long, and, just those kind of details. But I'm definitely interested, and as a side note, the Fort Pinellas School Transportation Safety Committee meeting is tomorrow morning, so I'm super curious if anybody
Anyone
there
else is kicking the
has-
tires?
Yeah. I mean, if they're sending emails to us, maybe there's others, so then that might be interesting to find out from local cities as well. So those are some of my questions, but I'm definitely interested in the research, for sure.
I don't know about the maintenance, but I as far as like the install costs, I think the vendors pretty much, it's all got to get permitted, and then it's put up and checked that it's in compliance with the statute. But then, from what I understand from Executive Director Blanton from Fort Pinellas, because that's where this conversation started from when I was hearing about it, of people are starting to explore it, that there is a kind of a revenue sharing portion where the vendor keeps a certain portion, but then some does go to the municipality.
I remember the red light cameras ended in lawsuits and they were removed, right?
Yes.
That was a
I'm just,
a fiasco.
that was a very reluctant, yes.
And that's probably another thing to look at is, is there anybody challenging this new system?
Another thing
technology
to
already?
look at before we're in the news for fun, just
Sure.
something to think about. But I am curious as to the research, and thank you for bringing it up.
All right, Valerie, you have anything?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Certainly anything that discourages people to speed in a school zone in front of our local schools. I have personally seen on Pine, I used to take that way right at when the school zone started and people cut through. And so I used to see somebody get pulled over every day.
Frequently.
Because we had a
All the
cop
time,
sitting there
yeah.
whose kid went to school and he just sat there during the school zone and every single day. I saw people and sometimes multiple people pulled over. So I think the discouragement, we want to keep our kids safe, and because it is one of the priorities of the council, it's definitely something I want to look into. Make sure it's not going to be something that's cost prohibitive for us in any way.
We don't
Sounds like
know,
it won't
but
be.
doesn't
We
sound
won't.
like it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it, but, and then just something that I thought of, we do have a sign when you're on Lakeview heading towards a school zone. It tells you that there's a school zone approaching, but it doesn't tell you time. So I would probably want to make sure that like if there's like intersections where they cross, that we have those times posted and that there are going to be fines,
Yeah, I think there's pretty strict requirements related to signage for these systems because otherwise people, I didn't know.
Right, exactly. I just want to make
Fair.
sure we don't get the lawsuits and the challenges
Sure.
that came along with the red light cameras, make sure we're covered. But, and even, if somebody does challenge, if it makes somebody think twice about speeding in our school zones, I'm for it, so.
Sure.
All right, so Councilmember Knapp, I think we have a consensus. I
Sounds like
agree. I
it.
think we should move forward and see what city staff can come up with, correct?
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, great job. Next item on our agenda is council comments, and Councilmember Valerie Tadezewski is next. First.
Okay. So I guess because I'm starting, I'm going to say an extra thank you. I think we've thanked the staff many times, but seriously, from the bottom of my heart, as somebody who lives in Zone B and easily could have been part of the damage if that storm was any closer, thank you for all of your efforts, for staying extra hours, for staying overnight, and I don't know how many energy drinks you had to have to be able to to have that energy, but I know I had trouble sleeping that night, and watching comments online about the water rising and knowing that there were people there waiting for the calls to come in from people who chose not to evacuate, but they were there to try to provide safety efforts anyway. Thank you for everything that you've done, not only during the hurricane, the actual storm, but everything afterwards as well. I know you're working hard on getting debris cleanup set up, and so thank you to you and your staff. Tomorrow is walk to school day for Oldsmar Elementary, so I'll be out with them tomorrow morning, walking to school. So we're gonna keep moving on. And then just a reminder to everybody from my proclamation that Fire Safety Week is next week, and please participate in the activities. Please double check your smoke alarms. When I was messaged that I would be doing this proclamation and that it was my first one, it was meaningful to me. I'm gonna try not to get emotional anyway. It's been a long week, sorry. Just with everything going on in general, but it's personally meaningful to me and special to me to be able to do that proclamation because my dad was a volunteer firefighter for many years as I was a child, but then also my family personally has lost their home to a fire when I was a teenager, and it was a total loss. So I know what that feels like. It has a special importance to me that everybody check your smoke alarms, because if you're home, you want to know you want your kids safe. So that's it.
Thank you, Valerie.
Yeah.
Thanks, Valerie.
Next is Councilmember Katie Gannon.
Thanks, Mayor. Oh. I don't want to repeat any of the things that Felicia or that you said, Mayor, at the beginning of the meeting. I think what you both said were particularly poignant. I am eternally grateful to our city staff for providing what I personally feel is the most up-to-date, coherent, accurate, and important information to our residents as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible. I could swear I would see a question pop up on social media and there would be an answer minutes later. I don't know what kind of sorcery you guys were doing all night, all day, every day, and are continuing to do, but it's working. It's working. I love all of our residents who showed up on Sunday night at Veterans Park. Nicole Williger, she asked me when I gave her the council manager award. Remember, she was like, "Why me?" That's why. That's why. There's lots of videos of the event, and the reason that I posted some videos was to show the volume of water, of cleaning supplies, feminine hygiene products, diapers, toys, clothes. It was unbelievable, the outpouring of support. And people were driving by and literally just dropping off stuff and going. I don't even know where they were coming from, but somehow they heard about that event. And a lot of amazing things have happened in the past 3 or 4 days. And like Felicia was saying, the alliance of our nonprofits to have arms where the city does not has been incredible. And I think very quickly and well coordinated. I do think, as the gentleman from the Red Cross said, that our city's response and the speed of the response as a government, as nonprofits, as citizens all together is a model. I do believe that. I believe in that. Thank you for all of the information you've provided to us. Thank you for the handouts. The ability to pivot. Okay, people aren't getting information online, they're not scrolling Facebook. Great, we will go door to door and hand it to them. People feel, like there's not enough going on in Harbor Palms. Awesome, send food trucks over there. People need, things delivered to them. They have no transportation. We'll figure it out. Send them to Oldsmar Care. Like, it's just, it's happening, and it's happening so quickly. And, I think that's the only thing that's giving people hope right now, is feeling like they're not forgotten, they're not alone, and I'm just really grateful for the coordination that's happening because of that. It's a war zone out there. I have no idea what you're going through, John. I have no idea. I've been there in it, but I don't know what it's like to see your own home like that. I'm very sorry. I have to give a shout out to Ginger and everybody who, the past couple of days, there's been, addresses posted on social media or whatnot. And people just show up. It's amazing. People just descend on these folks' homes, and I've had some flexibility and the ability to show up. And you know who's been at every one of them? It's Ginger. Ginger's been there, David McKinley's been there, Jason Sanders, Jason Nastasi, we were popping drywall out the other day. And I've added more phone numbers to my phone, more contacts to my phone in the last 5 days than I have, I think, in a year. And I really believe in what the gentleman from the Red Cross said, that the connections that we make, during this time are so critical. So I want to give a shout out to all of my warriors out there with our masks, our gloves, and our tools, and our trash bags. And if you need help, reach out. Oldsmar Cares has 2 links. One is Get Help, the other is Give Help. I want to thank everybody who's donated funds, who's donated supplies. It's my understanding there is actually more supplies than so many supplies at the Methodist Church now that they're going vertical. They had to buy shelves to start stacking things vertically because there's so much. I know it's hard for people to understand, like, why isn't anybody coming to get everything? Well, people are still cleaning out their homes, right? They don't have anywhere to put it. But I just keep assuring folks it will be needed, and people will come and get it when they're able to get it. And so we will hold on for them, and they will be overwhelmed with that love and support. So I hope that we can continue to do this for each other. I hope that, I already went on the news today, and hurricanes and natural disasters like this have a tendency to drop out of the news cycle. And a couple weeks later, when everybody's, there's no fancy pictures to show on the news anymore, or there's something more important going on, there's a tendency for people to forget. I had no idea the Red Cross was still sheltering people from Idalia until he said that. I had no idea. And I want to make sure, and I know we all want to make sure, that the citizens of Oldsmar know that they will not be forgotten by our government, by our nonprofits, and by all of us. So I love all of you guys. Thank you so much for working so hard the past few weeks. Thank you so much, Felicia. The School Transportation Safety Committee meeting is tomorrow morning. And I really feel compelled to go to that because they canceled the past one in June. So because we only have it quarterly, I really want to go to that tomorrow. So I won't be able to go to the Walk to School event, but do enjoy that. That's a great time. My kids were very happy to return to school, just to feel that sense of normalcy. I think that was really great that Principal Logan showed up. I'm sure Principal Huey was glad to see all of her students back. Teachers, I'm so grateful for my kids' teachers. They've just that constant support. So in any event, I don't have anything beyond that to share tonight. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Steve Graber.
Thank you, Mayor. And as everything was mentioned at the beginning of the meeting and during open forum, just to echo those sentiments. I mean, as soon as we knew something was coming, even though it was so far west, but the EOC was immediately put together. City staff immediately got moving. First responders, everyone who was involved in the thick of the storm as the damage was occurring, making sure we were all updated. Thank you. And then just the immediate response from people who live in Oldsmar who may not have been impacted as roughly as others were, and people from outside of Oldsmar that just said, no, we got to get in there. You don't understand, like there's these homes and these people need help. So just thank you to everyone. And just to echo what Councilmember Gannon said, there is a concern that the concern stops. And I was, even now where the church is still collecting things, everybody's still helping everybody else out. You can sense that it's going to continue. Everybody wants to get back to where we were and even stronger. And it's just so very nice to see. It's very proud that we've chosen to raise our family here, that we've chosen to serve, to see the reaction that we've seen. That is honestly all I had. It's just, it's been a very trying week for everyone. So I just wanted to be brief tonight, but I just wanted to make sure that I said thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilmember Andrew Knapp.
Thank you, Mayor. Obviously, yeah, it's been a tough week for all of us. We've all of us up here and everybody watching or working right now on their homes has been affected in some way, whether it be physically to their homes, physically to their bodies because of the work they're doing afterwards, emotionally, financially. I mean, some people, this might be something they can't recover from. And we as a city and just human beings need to do what we can to help them. Me personally, I'm very lucky that our neighborhood, I think mostly because of it being relatively newer construction, it came close. And I didn't have water in my home at 2 in.the morning, but I was up at 2 in.the morning texting my neighbors, waiting to hear where the water was and was it going to get into our homes. And like I said, thankfully for my own home, I didn't, but it could have been, all it had to be was 20 miles closer to the shore or stronger. All of my direct family members also, for the most part, got out okay. My parents had low-lying, detached structures, storage, garage that got water, and they weren't anywhere as close to the water. I think one of the weirdest or kind of strange coincidences was my grandmother, who's gone. She lived right down on the water in West Oldsmar, and the day the storm hit was 3 years that she had passed, same day. And her house that she lived in for nearly 60 years got easily 3 to 4 feet of water in it.
Oh, wow.
And the people that bought it now, my heart breaks for them, but it still breaks for me because I have so many memories from that house. So hopefully, they'll be able to rebuild and be able to afford these impacts to things. But then beyond my direct family, my expanded family, I have a family member that lives down on Country Club. And, and I'm sure she's not the only one. So many people have lived there for so long, they probably own their homes outright. And they struggle to get by just day to day. And she gave up flood insurance last year because she couldn't make ends meet. So I'm sure she's not the only one. So there are going to be people that unfortunately may not be able to live with us or near us in the coming days, but hopefully we can minimize those impacts. So yeah, it's been tough. I know it's been tough on everybody, and this isn't a rah-rah moment about us or about staff. I mean, everybody's been doing what they can to chip in some way. I'll echo what was said about the data stream. It was like the emails, the information to us that allowed us to share information to others and give people knowledge and comfort that things are happening, even though it doesn't look like it. I mean, what was touched on earlier with debris cleanup, it's like things are happening. It's just they don't happen overnight. They don't happen within a week. It's unfortunate that that's the way things are, but it's not easy to just say, well, we're going to have debris cleanup sites on standby at all hours, although maybe that's a great idea. I don't know. So it is unfortunate to the things that have happened. I have a lot of optimism that in the end we will come out stronger. So just in closing, I wanted to read something from our family to the rest of the families and individuals in Oldsmar. Give me a second. A huge thank you to our city staff and those in our community for showing their love, care, and support towards others during this difficult time. The spreading of kindness is over the top. Helene really put our community through the test of survival. We know this could happen same day. This could happen someday. We've seen others go through this and read about it in the news, but now it's happened right before our eyes. We have given a whole new meaning to lending a hand, and a whole new meaning to love thy neighbor. All of the offerings of hard labor, donations, food, car rides, washing of clothes, places to lay their head at night, the list goes on. From family and friends helping out to neighbors, helping neighbors and to strangers helping strangers. The outpouring of help really warms the heart as we see those whose hearts are broken and hurting. All this will make our community come through recovery better and stronger than ever before. That's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much,
Thanks.
Councilmember Knapp. So I really said my piece at the beginning of the meeting, but I do want to mention one thing. I have a ring camera on the back of the wildlife area that used to be the 9th tee of the Harbor Palms Golf Course. The water came up to the concrete slab on my ring camera as I watched. I fell asleep and I woke up at 2 o'clock, and the concrete had these little things doing circles and circles. And I'm looking at the camera going, what is that? It was debris from the pond on the concrete flowing. Then all of a sudden I saw a big log floating by. And it went to the side of the house where I had another ring camera where the golf cart track for the golf carts used to go down from Oak Leaf to get into the golf course. There, it was a river. the water was just rushing by, going into Harbor Palms neighborhood. I didn't know what to do. This is 3 o'clock in the morning, and that water was just flying through there. So, I mean, it's a disaster. I just wanted to share that, but, I'm sorry that our citizens, had to go through this, and, I think I speak for every council member up here and the vice mayor. We're here to help. And Katie, you showed you've been helping. I've been watching you, and you're doing a great job, and I'm very grateful.
Everybody's helping in their own way.
Yep.
Everybody's helping.
And I know, we're all helping, but phone calls, text messages have been crazy.
Even, it was crazy. You know who helped coordinate getting information back and forth to Jerry and Tosi? It was Gabby McGee from Spain.
Oh, I thought it was her daughter I saw on Facebook.
Yeah, well, she was on Facebook, but Jerry wasn't home when this happened. She was in North Carolina.
And her son, Bill,
We
was
couldn't
doing
get
it
into
from
her.
New York.
We couldn't get into her house because the door had warped from the water swelling for 2 days. So we couldn't get into her house, and I'm like, Gabby, you got to get a hold of her. You got to get a hold. So she's coordinating with Billy, and then Billy's back, and then I'm texting Billy. I'm like, I'm packing up your antique camera collection right now.
Wow.
But like literally, Oldsmar everywhere, everywhere.
Everyone's been helping.
Everywhere.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Item 20 is approved, the tentative agenda for the October 15th, 2024 council meeting. Does anybody wish to pull anything from the agenda or add? I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any other discussion?
No.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Meeting adjourned. Oh, these are all yours.
Tom, your hat makes me smile. Thank you.